Hi, here I am back again with another lesson number 4 of the pop-up card studio from Make the Cut. Today I thought I'd go through looking at showing how I look for a stencil and on to Make the Cut, saving it as an SVG and then bringing it into pop-up card studio. And first off, we'll start. I typed in rose stencil and I thought this one would be the one to go with. You get an idea of which ones work and which ones don't, but I'll start with this. So I right click on that, go copy image, then I go to Make the Cut. That's now in my clipboard. I go trace, pixel trace, and go paste, and this is the one that we got, and it looks fairly like it's come in fairly clean, so I'll go import, finish trace, and we have this here. At the moment it's got a frame around it, so that's easy. We can go layer, okay, we can go break apart, highlight and we go cut, and we'll highlight this one and cut that away. So that just leaves the rose there. So we go select all, join, so they're all back at 1 now. Now the way to get a pop-up in the pop-up design studio is we'll give that a shadow. So we'll just, the idea is when you're working with the shadow, you just go up to give yourself a nice outline, but still keep, you don't want the outlines too thin. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at the petals and things. This is touching here, but I would like it touching there. I can touch that up a bit later on. The leaves here I can move down, but it's looking to see if that's enough border around. But if I do it any bigger, we're going to lose all this shaping. So what we'll do is we'll accept that. We'll close that one for the minute. We'll select this again, and we'll do an in shadow, a shadow, and this time we'll do minus. We'll see what that looks like. Cancel that for a minute. Right, we'll select this. Now do a shadow, because we've selected the right one to do a shadow. We'll do minus. So we're going to take this in a bit, so when this one is the other one's turned on, it'll be a bigger frame around it. So we'll go a bit more. We don't want to lose too much of the stems, so we're starting to lose some of the stem here, so we'll stop there. We'll go accept. Now what we do now is we close this, unlock this one, and open, have the two shadow ones open and unlocked. So this is what we end up with. We do select all and break apart, because what we need to do is bring these down over the top, just over the top of the top of the rose, and I might twist them around so 2 points are over the top of the rose. I'll join them. Then what you do, you should join the bottom lot. Not those ones you just joined, but you select everything else and you do a join. Then you select all and do a weld, so we can weld these 2 leaves to the top of the rose here. So we do a weld. Now, you look at all the petals are all okay. This petal here needs a bit of stabilising down the bottom here, but other than that, everything else has more than 1 point of holding. So what we'll do, we'll get the inverse eraser and we'll just shape this around. Now this has got the 3 points, so it'll be held in when it's in the pop-up card. Everything else looks fairly good. You can take your time. I'm just doing this quickly for demonstration purposes. But see how I'm just shaping them so they've got more points to hold on to. If I take the inverse off, I can just make this one a little less so it's a bit even. And we'll have a look at that. And everything looks like it won't fall out. Everything looks fine. So we'll throw away the original because that was in between the 2 sizes. So we can throw that away and clean that up. Now, with that selected, you go export to SVG and you call that what you want. Now that's done. So now we can go over to the the pop-up card studio and design our card. So we've come in at the default, which is a inch from the back, and I think, oh, well, that will be good enough. So we'll go import and find the SVG that we've just created. Roso 2 and open, and that will come in, of course, or you can just size it to how you want. We've still got a bit of manipulation to do for a pop-up card, but I do that in here because it's a lot easier. We can bring that down so it's under the dotted white line, so that means that it will not fall out the top of the card when it's closed. And what I'll just do is turn that around so this bit on the bottom, this bit and this leaf will all be to the bottom of the card to anchor it. As well as to the bottom of the card, normally I would just chop off, but because these lines are going to be so thin, now is where I get the eraser, the inverse eraser, and just add a little, it's online, and I just add a little bit of extraness on the side here, down the bottom, just so we know that we're going to have enough holding to the bottom of the card. That might be a bit. Right, you may think that looks a bit extreme, but we're now going to cut that away and trim it. Right, now you get the cropping tool with the exclusive rectangle, and you now crop, so all those three bottom pieces are going to have a decent amount of horizontal lines to anchor to the bottom of the card. So what we'll do now, you can, go zoom in here and neaten up this, take your time and make it shaped. We won't do that for this purpose. Now we'll put that on the bottom of the plane. Then we have to. So that's now sitting an inch out from the card and sitting joined to the bottom of the card. Now the idea is to work out where else you can anchor the roses to the back of the card. So you just sort of think, well, maybe I can anchor it between these two leaves here. So what I would do is holding the control key down, put a line across there and just fill in a bit more of this. You can always undo if you don't like the look of it. So what I'm going to do is crop that. So I know that it's going to be a straight line for anchoring. We can turn on the horizontal lines and see that didn't crop enough. So we'll go across and crop again. So that gives us a nice little platform for the anchor to go on. I thought we might have an anchor here, so we'll crop across here. And if you find that you can't get a decent thickness of anchor, as I said, you just get the erase tool, add a bit of platform there. And then you come back in with your cropping tool and you can see if you can just make it so it's a bit further up, and so that will be anchored to the back of the card. I think two's enough. We can put another anchor here if we think that it's not stable enough. So what I do there is come in here, take off the line, add a bit more without the line, then come in with the cropping tool and crop out an anchor. Then you can also do it the other way and take the inverse eraser off and just tweak this corner a bit. So now you've got a little platform there to anchor to the back of the card. So the next thing to do is we've got our lines on, so we'll go to the bottom to put the anchors on. Hold the Control and Shift key down and arrow up. We get to this first point of putting an anchor to the back of the card. So using the right mouse tool, we get the Bezier straight line tool. We go across here, it's 1/8 of an inch snapping, and we go down here to 2-point rectangle, and we go left click over to here. Sometimes in my videos I've said right click, I apologise for that, it is left click. and click here. That's the first anchor done. And I'll do that again. You look for the dotted lines. It goes to the dotted lines again. You click. No. Yes. Then you Control Shift up arrow, and we go to the next one, which is this. We see the dotted lines come up both ways. We click, left click, go to the diagonal. When they're both dotted lines, you left click again. We up arrow to the next one, which is on the top here. It's turned yellow and not red. So we go click and over till it both turn dotted again, and we go click. So that concludes the making of that. So what we can do now is we turn this off and we turn the horizontal lines off to get an idea of now what we have. Using the right key and the mouse wheel, we can pan around to see what your pop-up's going to look like. There's no broken lines at the back, otherwise you'd see straight white lines behind here. And while it's around there, I'll show you that when the card is closed, nothing pops out the top. When the card is fully open, that's what it'll be cutting like. Back to normal. Now we can save this. We go and save, and that now saves with this as your thumbnail. Now I am using the beta version, but on the newer version you will not see this pop-up card studio.pcs. You'll see your actual you'll see this as your picture here. But at the moment, you've got to set it. But this is what you'll see, which is this picture we see here. Once again, to get what it would look like in paper virtual, we put it around to a position that you push preview, and over here it'll start rendering a virtual card for you. So in weeks and years to come, you'll be able to just look at it and go, oh, I want to cut another one of them. It does take a bit of time to render, but it's well worth it to have this as your thumbnail than to have this blue and green bit as your thumbnail. When this turns solid, you can go project, save as thumbnail, and then you save it. So now if you wanted to open that, what you would see is this picture here, but mine's here because it's a beta version of the program which isn't quite ready yet. And there you have your rose card all ready to put in the folded card. You cut it and put it in a folded solid card, and it'll be popping up when people open it and they'll go, wow. So So this is the card. It's using the program called Pop-Up Card Studio by Make the Cut. Making great pop-up cards to be cut on cutting machines. If you'd like to purchase the program, there'll be a button underneath this video, or you can also go to susanbluerobot.blogspot.com.au and there will be a button there to push that will take you to find where to purchase it. Be sure to check back again for another episode of learning how to get the most out of the Pop-Up Card Studio by Make the Cut. Hope you come back soon. Bye.